Our next story raising questions over school safety and accountability in India. 3 deeply disturbing cases, each triggering questions about neglect within educational institutions, allegedly. We are starting off with Delhi, with the heartbreaking death of a 16-year-old boy, a class 10 student of a prestigious school in the capital. A boy who dreamt of joining an acting academy in Mumbai, who loved dance, sport, energized everyone around him. According to reports, hours before his death, he was at a school dance rehearsal where he reportedly slipped on stage. An incident that should have been met with support, encouragement. But as mentioned in his suicide note, reportedly, it ended in humiliation and rebuke from the teachers. According to his family, these moments were part of a longer pattern of being singled out, allegedly, and publicly scolded for months, they say. A handwritten note recovered from his bag has only intensified the outrage. In that note, the student named certain teachers, alleging persistent harassment, and left a heartbreaking apology to his family, along with a final plea for justice. The incident triggered massive protests by the students and parents at the school gates, demanding accountability, demanding immediate action. In response, Headmistress, coordinator and 2 teachers reportedly have been suspended. They have been ordered to remain available for investigation but barred from entering the school or interacting with the students, staff or parents.
We have formed an investigation committee and the school has also taken action. I see this not only as the education minister but also as a concerned parent. The state government is ready to provide hand-holding and support. We are deeply concerned about our children's mental health and well-being.
His family has now returned to their hometown in Maharashtra to perform the last rites. His father told reporters that his son had been repeatedly humiliated over minor issues, allegedly, a claim that lies at the very center of the ongoing investigation.
इसको बोला था कि तेरा डीसी निकाल करके पेरेंट्स को बुला के दे, तब से भी ये परेशान था कि मेरे बेटे ने जो सुसाइड नोट लिखा है उसमें ये सारा लिखा है कि मेरे को किस किस टीचर्स ने नाम भी लिखे हुए हैं, लेकिन सबसे लास्ट में जो लिखा है बड़े अक्षरों में वही बहुत दर्दनाक है कि मैं चाहता हूँ कि मेरी तरफ और कोई बच्चा ऐसा ना करे, इसलिए ये जो टीचर ने किया जरूर सजा मिलनी चाहिए। इसलिए मैं सब पेरेंट्स की तरफ से यही चाहता हूँ कि इस टीचर्स के ऊपर आत्महत्या के तो गुनाह दाखिल किया जाए और इनको अरेस्ट किया जाए।
And you know what's even more tragic here? This is not an isolated incident. In Madhya Pradesh, another teenager, a 17-year-old, has died, leaving behind a note alleging harassment by a male teacher. The police saying the note claims she was mistreated and even physically handled inappropriately during punishment. An investigation is underway there as well, with the parents angry, demanding strict action against the accused teacher. In Andhra Pradesh's Chittoor district, 3rd such case coming in. A 19-year-old nursing student died after a critical injury from a fall, reportedly. The relatives describing it as an attempt to escape severe mental distress. The family has directly blamed the college staff, claiming pressure, harassment drove her to this condition. The incident has sparked a lot of panic and anger among the students and parents, once again putting the hostel safety and counseling support under the scanner. Now, these are serious concerns. 3 states, 3 young lives, one painful, tragic common thread running through them. If these tragedies are to mean anything, they must be a wake-up call. Schools and colleges, educational institutions at large, must establish strong counseling systems, to say the least. Clear complaint mechanisms, regular teacher sensitization, zero-tolerance policies for any kind of humiliation or harassment, because no report card, no rehearsal as such, no examination is ever worth what these children have gone through, and no family should have to endure what these families will now live with. On to alarming news coming in from the UK, where a damning public inquiry report has painted a shocking portrait of the UK's response to COVID-19, calling it too little, too late, and basically saying that thousands of lives could have been saved, thousands of lives. The inquiry basically highlighting a critical lapse in the leadership and a failure by the then Prime Minister Boris Johnson to grasp the actual scale of the crisis, a failure to act when every day counted, among other aspects. The report describes February 2020 as a lost month when Johnson not chairing a single COBRA meeting on COVID-19 and the government's response stalling even as the virus spread. The report criticizes the then Health Secretary Matt Hancock and top official Chris Wormald for failing to correct misleading claims about the government's preparedness.
Failure to lock down earlier may have cost lives. Had the lockdown been imposed 1 week earlier than the 23rd of March, the evidence suggests that the number of deaths in England alone in the first wave up until the 1st of July 2020 would have been reduced by 48%. That is approximately 23,000 fewer deaths.
Now, overall, the inquiry says thousands of the UK's 227,000 COVID-19 deaths were avoidable, adding that an earlier lockdown could have cut the first wave deaths by 48%. 48%. We're talking about lives being lost here. The report says the lockdown undoubtedly saved lives, but left lasting scars on the society, disrupting childhood, damaging the economy, and delaying non-COVID treatment. The report argues that if decisions had been taken earlier, the UK might have avoided the more draconian lockdowns that followed. And the report also makes several key recommendations, warns that without urgent reform, the UK risks repeating the same mistakes. These recommendations including ensuring that decisions and their implications are clearly communicated to the public, the need for greater parliamentary scrutiny of the use of emergency powers.
The very least the public is entitled to expect is that those making the rules will abide by them. Across the UK, there were instances and allegations of rule breaking by ministers and advisers that caused huge distress and undermined the confidence of the public in their governments. Finally, under this heading, there was a toxic and chaotic culture at the heart of the UK government, and the relationship between ministers in Northern Ireland was poor.
With more than 230,000 COVID-19 deaths recorded in the UK and a long road of recovery ahead, this report demands not just reflection, but accountability. Prime Minister Keir Starmer says the government will carefully consider the findings. The country is now waiting for what comes next. And in sharp contrast with countries that chose a somewhat different path, countries like Sweden, Uruguay, Iceland, for example, never imposed full national lockdowns. No blanket stay-at-home orders were issued. No severe restrictions on movement. Instead, they relied on targeted measures like extensive testing, also limiting large gatherings, isolating cases, and managing the borders. 5 years later, many of these countries emerged with lower death rates, less economic damage, and far fewer social disruptions as compared to the UK. Just think of the families of those who lost their loved ones to COVID-19. Who will take accountability for the lives lost is the bigger question. China is pushing the boundaries of ocean technology and raising serious questions about the future balance of power at sea. Beijing is now building what it calls a floating, all-weather, deep-sea research facility. But what experts are calling a mobile artificial island engineered to withstand even a nuclear blast. This giant semi-submersible platform, weighing 78,000 tons, is the first of its kind in the world. It carries the same displacement as China's newest Fujian aircraft carrier and can house over 230 personnel for 4 months without any resupply. Once deployed in 2028, it will be able to move through open seas at a cruising speed of 15 knots while functioning like a permanent science base. Chinese scientists from Shanghai Jiao Tong University saying the superstructure holds critical systems, power, communication, navigation modules that must remain operational in any circumstance. And for that, they say nuclear protection is absolutely vital. The floating island is designed to endure rough seas, Category 17 super typhoons, and extended missions in deep ocean zones. Its intended operating areas, including the South China Sea, one of the world's most heavily disputed maritime regions. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.